I wonder why did hello. Almost 1 o'clock. Sorry to Red Pill Rhino. I missed your stream last night. I was sleeping. And then I got up and streamed again. I know, it's crazy. Red Pill Rhino. RHINO. Go look it up. All right, Blaire White. Woke. Dating profiles. I mean, I can't even imagine, if you're doing dating, what are the things called? Tinder or something. If you're doing that, how do you weed through all of this stuff? It's just, stunning and brave. Yeah, stunning and brave. Okay, Blaire, let's go.
World.
Yeah.
So this one's in a lesbian section.
Okay, so we've got one here in the lesbian section. Clearly, this is an it with a beard. Okay, so most guys are lesbians, right? We like okay.
Keep in mind, so Clay, who is 30, wrote about Zimself.
Ooh, he's a Zim, is he? I'm sorry, did I misgender? Z's a Zims, is he?
Communist. No, I would have never.
Really, I never would have. No. I hate capitalism, but look at my offern. I wonder how that happened. Oh, yeah, the Communist Chinese Party.
Yes,
right. That's probably not an Ethan. That's probably, it's a cheap knockoff. It's the Lotta. It's the Lotta phone.
The appearance.
From the
anti-imperialist,
Russians.
non-binary, and bi. Isn't that?
I was thinking the same thing, Blaire. Let's see. Non-binary would be not one or the other, yet I am binary because I'm bi. Huh.
Kind of contradictory?
I mean, maybe there's a gray area between non-binary and like anywhere in the middle there. I mean, maybe. Sort of maybe not. Could be, perhaps.
I mean, being bisexual denotes a binary.
One would think, yes.
So you're non-binary, but you're bisexual. Like
I know, right? Well.
Do you know what words mean? I think you need to Google what sexualities you're claiming, because this doesn't make sense.
I guess the Z Clay, the Z here in the image, Z wants to be able to swing whatever way the wind's blowing that night. Whatever happens to be up, Z is all for it.
I work with teens at a mental hospital, and I'm in grad school to be a therapist. Well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah,
not a terrible person. The fact that you have to say that.
Yeah, that's one of my attributes on my dating profile. I'm not a terrible person. Okay.
Side-eyeing you, Clay.
I mean, do you have to even say that, really? Honestly?
Mentally ill in a hot way.
Okay. Mentally ill in a hot sort of way.
Wait, if you're mentally ill, why are you working with mentally ill people? That's like the blind leading the blind. I don't think you should have that job.
Well, I'll just say, I think sometimes troubled people are drawn to be therapists. So,
your dog will love me.
All I'm saying. Your dog is going to love me.
Bella.
Your dog's really going to love me.
Hey, Bella. Let's see what Bella thinks.
Hey, Bella.
Do you like Clay? Do you like them? Okay.
Oops.
Next. I'm swiping left. Is it left or right?
I don't know. Which way do you swipe? Does anyone know? Is anyone here on the stream? Which swipe do you go with? Is the wrong one? You don't want this person. You swipe. Which one? Left, right? Whatever. Stone Creeper is here. Prince Revolver, hello. Easter Sunday, Eric T, MGTOW Outlaw, Polska Bob. Are you drinking yet, Polska? Saturday. I haven't had a drop. Not yet.
Is it left if you don't want them, or right if you like them?
I don't know. It's one or the other.
I'm throwing you away entirely. You're not.
Can you swipe up? Down.
So Sarah, who thank God has her pronouns in her bio because
Mm.
God knows what we would call someone named Sarah.
I mean, it could be one of those things, Blaire, where if it's Sarah with an H, it might be indicating a female. But if it's Sarah without the H, it could be a non-binary POC lizard person. Who knows? Yeah.
Says you should not go out with me if you're transphobic, racist, misogynistic, etc.
Mm-hmm. So if you have an irrational fear of trans people, you should not go out with me. Fair enough.
Or if you're looking for a hookup.
Racist. Define it first, though, really. What do you mean? Racist.
Shout out to you for being honest about not wanting a hookup and wanting a relationship. I think that's admirable. However,
except if Chad Thundercock rolled in, there'd be a hookup.
General rule when I'm having conversations with men or women or friends or whoever, it's like I don't like opening with what I'm against. It's like, what are you for? Like, what do you support? What are you passionate about? Like,
I mean, clearly from the bio here, though, or the the ad, you could probably guess, couldn't you? Purple hair, that sort of thing, communist, etc.
That's what I would look for in a dating profile. I know I'm taking this a little too seriously, but it's like you think you're writing something positive, but you're actually coming out negative. You're only talking about what you're against, and it's like, what's up with that? But you know,
whatever happens to be like, I like taking long walks in the park. I love cats. I love going to the zoo. I like going to the beach. I like reading. No, stay away from me if you're a misogynist prick.
This is what CNN tells people should be their entire personality. So when you're an NPC and you don't have a brain for yourself, it's like this is all your Tinder bio is going to consist of. Ab, who has her pronouns in her picture here.
Well, we wouldn't know, really. Ab could be anything. So this is helpful. Thank you, Ab, for pointing out your pronouns.
Says she, her, 3 times vaccinated.
Oh, God, here we go. Okay, then.
Anti-capitalist.
Of course. Duh.
And yet you literally started this bio with a free advertisement for Pfizer, but that's, that's okay.
That's different, though. It's different.
Anti-white supremacy.
Who isn't? Just who is an anti-white supremacy and anti-fascist? Just curious.
Anti-fascist. E&M is just cheating. What?
E&M. E&M. What the hell is that?
What's E&M?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to Google this.
All right.
Oh, ethical non-monogamy. Yeah, that is just cheating.
Okay. Ethical non-monogamy. Oh my God, you need a freaking handbook to figure out what they're talking about.
Are you going to have like one based take and have it at the very end? Like Kayla says liberal BX massage.
Liberal BX bitch. What does that mean? What is a BX bitch? You guys have any ideas? BX, is that the new word for bitch?
Misogyny makes me uncomfy. Guacamole, pescatarian.
Okay, well, we're getting something here. She likes guac and she's a fish eater.
The office jokes. Black people are the best. Quote me.
Oh, okay, good, cool, yeah, great.
No such thing as straightness.
Well, maybe not for you. Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of planet do these crazy
I have no idea. It just is. It amazes me, Blaire. I don't get it. I just, okay. I like material things because capitalism, but didn't she hate capital? Oh, no,
I like material things because capitalism, and she put her Cash App.
Oh, so we're supposed to send her money. I think I'll pass.
I like how it always comes down to that. Like,
well, I mean, at least she likes capitalism. I mean, there's, guacamole's good. I like fish. Good.
Just say you a hoe, girl. Like,
is she a hoe?
If this was me and I was using a dating app to advertise my Cash App and just get money from dudes, I would literally just say, I'm a hoe. Please give me money. Because
I mean, does she have an OF? I mean, was she advertising that or something?
At least that's honest,
I mean, yeah. If you have an OF, marketing, baby, marketing.
I feel like this is literally like an AI created human being. Like this.
It could be, yeah. It could be just a fake profile too. You never know.
This is literally just, I'm quirky. I like guacamole, and
I eat fish and guacamoles, and I love capitalism. I love material things. Hit me up, cash me out, back, baby.
Pescatarian. Something capitalism, something black, something straight. pay me. Like
The Office jokes. Love The Office.
it's literally just
okay.
an AI created human being.
Misogyny makes me uncomfortable. Okay.
Amber says you should not go out with me if you.
Okay, here we go. A big old list of shit. How fast can we swipe the correct way on this one? Where's the keg hamster? No keg yet. I have to go get brewskis later. Maybe. Okay, the party's arrived. Hello. Hey. John G. Salty Monkey is here as well. She means Bronx, bitch. BX. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, I had no idea. So that's short for Bronx. Okay, it's the cool way to say Bronx. All righty then. So here's Amber. You should not go out with me if...
Don't understand E&M. So
ethical non-monogamy. Okay, let me write that down here. Non-monogamy. Okay, go ahead.
That's ethical non-monogamy.
Yes.
I think people get it. They just know that you're just trying to be a whole.
Yeah, you just want a stable dick, and then when you find a random dick that you want to be able to get that too, or vagina.
Okay. Which is,
I mean, why be in a relationship? Really. Why would you be in a relationship if you just want to run around and have sex? I mean, what's the point? What's the benefit? I suppose because it's stable dick.
It's fine. Like my whole thing is, if I'm with you, I'm not sharing you. And I damn sure don't want you to share me. Because if you're willing to share me, then you actually don't give a fuck about me. That's my mentality. Everyone's different. I get that it works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. However, ethical non-monogamy is literally just a Band-Aid over the word cheater. Like that's
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
If you kink shame, I mean, I guess that's relatively okay. Everyone's into what they're into. It's like,
sure, whatever.
As long as it's not something super foul, then I probably won't shame you. But
like slapping, a little slap and tickle, a little motorboat action, sure.
Also, I might if it's funny. Like,
I mean, how kinky do people get? God only know. I would imagine it could get a little bit crazy.
Have disrespect for sex workers. Is this just code that you're a sex worker? Because if that's the case, you should probably be a little more upfront about that.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I mean, I have no disrespect for people who are in that business. There probably should be more of them. Honestly.
Don't grasp the concept that this country is on stolen land and Black Lives Matter.
Oh, God, here we go. Amber, every country is on stolen land. Find one that isn't. But America sucks.
Challenge for Miss Amber. Good luck finding any country that isn't on stolen land. That's kind of how countries came to be, like all of them.
Yeah, when we first came out of Africa, thousands of years ago, whoever came out of Africa, they went on land and they stole it from the earth. I mean, it's just the way things work.
But don't let history get in the way of your anointing.
No. BLM too. I gotta have that in there.
Pretty much all women, I'm noticing. At least I think. I assume they were born women.
See, you are evil. Oh, Blaire, we have to have a talk.
It's like 2022. You look out for women that wasn't even born women. You have to look for these lived out freaks. Like it's just.
I mean, can you imagine? If you, I don't know, found someone on Tinder or whatever, you get and it's actually a dude. That would be. Ooh.
Alicia, 27, they, barista.
She's the barista. She went to HBHS, graduated in 2013. See, 10 years ago, that's about right. Sure. Okay, HBHS.
Says, hello, I'm a baby queer.
I'm a baby queer and partnered baby poly.
No.
What the hell is that? What? Is it one of those deals where people dress up like they're babies? Okay.
And partnered baby poly? Dating separately?
Okay. Partnered baby polygamous, dating separately. Okay. All right.
You're a baby? Stop.
Yeah, really. It's just, but then again, I suppose that's some people's kink. So, can't hate it. It wouldn't be for me.
Is that what that means?
Not for me. No.
Hoping to make friends and explore my queerness.
Oh, so goody. I want to make friends and explore my queerness. All right.
That just sounds gross. I'm a witchy, crafty mama to a little fella.
Oh, God. It reproduced. Oh, no. Oh, no.
That kid ain't got a chance. This kid is starting with every disadvantage in the world that this is their mother.
It could get worse, but it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Vaccinated and anti-capitalist.
Of course.
Gay flag. Again, it's like, this is like, they don't have personalities. Like, do you have a job? Do you go?
Yeah, she said she's a barista. So she does have a job.
Go to school. Scorpio.
She went to high school.
Rising Sagittarius sun.
See, here we go. Boom, boom. Believe in the science, but let's talk about astrology. An INFP is some kind of what is that? Introverted, neurotic, fun person, something like that.
See, that's the other thing is it would be a no-go for me if someone had their astrological sign in their dating profiles.
Blaire, don't you know that the very center of the earth and the moon and the sun, when it was rising in Sagittarius, don't you know it pulls on your life? Blaire, you're a non-believer.
Like, girl, everyone always wants to blame all their behavior on their sign. It's like, I don't care if you're an asparagus. Just don't be a bitch. Maya, 21, says, hello, I'm bi and ace demi. What? No Trump supporters. Honestly, I'm just looking for platonic cuddles.
Wait a minute. Whoa. A bi and ace demi. What the hell is an ace/demi? Is that demisexual? They only have activity with people they actually like. I mean, there you go. Vitlaus, hello, Beavis Jones is here. Soul Tin. This chick sounds like a dude. Blaire White is a dude. I'm sorry, she's a trans. Yeah. She's a transitioned person. So yeah. Go ahead.
Are women deluded enough to think you can go on a dating app?
You guys don't know Blaire White? Yeah. Blaire's a trans person.
And ask for platonic cuddles and think that that's all the man is going to expect. Like,
Oh, that's what demi means, right? Okay. No Trump supporters, of course not. Oh, come on. Look at the hair on this chick. Or does she give her pronouns? Okay. We'll assume it's he, she. Maya's 21 with bright blue hair. What is that? What does that call? Where the creature warns you that I'm poisonous. I can't think of the word, but you know what it is. Right?
You can bring a man into your bed or go into their bed or cuddle, and it's like there's no expectation of anything else. It's like,
oh, is that what that means? Okay, so the ACE and the /demi means it's just cuddles. It's only cuddles, not the thing.
I don't know what ace or demi means.
I think demi is you only have activity with people you're attracted to. God only knows.
Like, looking at this makes me feel old, and there is a 2 in front
we
of
are old. Blaire, I'm older than you by like 20 some years, but we're all getting old. You can't keep up with the jargon these days.
But there's a 2, so I know I'm not that old, and it's like I don't understand. Like,
no
demi,
like demi-glace. Demi means normally like 10, right? No, that's Desi. Excuse me.
Oh my God, it's like I say demi 3 times and then the pops up like Bloody Mary.
Yeah, Ghostbusters comes rolling out of your fireplace.
Like a skyscraper. So Kauai, which...
Kauai, age 30. Okay. Notice the bright pink hair. This is going to be good.
Is that your real name, girl?
No, of course.
Because if it's not...
It's an island in the whole... Isn't it? Isn't Kauai an island in Hawaii?
I'm going to have to hit the culture appropriation alarm on you.
Okay.
Breaking your own rule. Yes. Abrosexual.
What? Abrosexual? It means my sexuality is fluid. Okay.
What the fuck does that... Oh, she said, it means my sexuality is fluid.
I guess it's, hey, whatever, I'm up for a good time, no matter where it comes from. sir.
Then just say that.
Why? Yeah, just say I just either way is fine. Anyway, anything is good.
Why do people have such a hard time just saying bisexual? Like,
I don't know, but maybe it's not bi. Maybe it's tri or quad or penta, octosexual.
If your sexuality is fluid, that means you like more than one gender, which means you're bisexual.
Sure, but I suppose the fluid part is that I don't want to restrict myself to the binary because it's so uncool. I'm going to say I'm fluid because I'll go for anything because there's not really just two genders. There's a million genders. So I'm just going to be a fluid. I'm going to be analog. I'm not going to be digital.
Is bisexual just like not cool enough anymore? I don't understand.
Well, it labels you. So I'm going to label myself something else. Ugh.
Leftist, open-minded. Hufflepuff. Girl.
What? Huffing Puff? What the fuck is that?
They always got the fucking Hogwarts house in their shit. It's like
it's Harry Potter. Huffin' Puff?
Like what? Harry Potter.
Or is that like a undead chronic token, the ganja? Firing up a big fatty.
Potter was a fundamental part of my development as a person, but I hate what J.K. Rowling has turned into.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Kawhi, I'm sure J.K. Rowling or whatever her name is, Harry Potter author. She doesn't lie awake at night worrying what you think about her. I'm quite certain of that.
So still deciding what to do about that.
Oh.
See, this is what happens when you're so open-minded that your brain falls out, Miss Kawaii, because if you just have this nuanced understanding of life to where you can identify as abrosexual and just make some shit up out of thin air, but you're not nuanced enough to understand that J.K. Rowling has like a belief in biological sex without.
Right. I mean, you can't. I'm perfectly open-minded, but you have to think exactly like me. I'm open-minded. What does that mean? Normally, it's like, you're accepting, people have different viewpoints. No. I am open-minded. I'm a lefty. But if you don't believe in everything I believe in, you should be canceled. Sounds open-minded to me.
Out hating anyone. Like,
right.
I don't know. Neuroatypical Dis nerd. Oh, she's a Disney fan. Okay. I'm sorry. I fuck with Disney. Not so much anymore because they've done some weird stuff. Like they're pushing like child transition surgeries on their network, which is like.
Yeah, that's on the network itself. Really? So, I mean, kids watch I don't know if this is true because I don't watch the Disney network, but that would be really weird, wouldn't it? You're watching cartoons. It's like, hi, kids. Do you sometimes feel like the other? Well, you can get all chopped up and have that happen.
What the fuck are you doing? There's something about like adults, like 30-year-olds, like Miss Kawaii, that are just like all about Disney, always at Disneyland, always watching Disney movies, dressing up as a princess. It's like, that is one step above a fairy in my mind.
That's rather childish as well, right? I thought the female got mature faster than the men. Isn't that what we're told?
Chronic illness sufferer, SJW. You admit to being an SJW. That's
I'm sure the dates are just going to line right up for this one.
Polyflexible.
Okay. All right. Polyflexible.
What does this mean? Like,
I think it means she could be poly if given the opportunity.
These people invented their own language.
Yeah.
And they like hate people who don't understand their language or like conform to it. And here come all the poly people, I'm sure, commenting that I'm like a bad person for not understanding it.
Well, you are.
Yes. I don't have the confidence to understand not everyone's going to get it. If I was poly, I would not expect other people who are monogamy minded to understand it.
I wouldn't care. Really, why do people talk about this shit? It wasn't that long ago where that was kind of your own business, right? You didn't go to work and say, oh my God, let me tell you, I'm poly now and I'm binary and flexible and I'm an abisexual. You don't talk about this kind of shit. Or at least you didn't a few years ago.
And I would not get pissed off at them not understanding it. So this person says queer poet, writer, artist.
Oh, Jesus. Grant McEwen University. Is that a Canadian outfit? It kind of sounds Canadian-y. Yeah, poutine right on campus.
Actual meme oppression and chill.
Gender queer. 11 kilometers away. Queer poet, writer, artist. Actual. What?
What's that mean? Survivor of internet fame and infamy. Is the person famous?
I don't know. It certainly, well, you you X'd out the name here, so I don't know, maybe. But it does have brightly colored hair. Aposematic. Stay away. It's poison.
PTSD and bipolar. Run if you have to, or stay and be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
They, them, go glitter yourself. Hashtag winning. T got DX.
I got DX. And take all my pills on time. Okay.
And take all my pills on time. Chronic pain, spoony life, human rights worker. Let's go for a walk, polyamorous and engaged.
Mm-hmm. It certainly seems to be the new thing, huh? Poly this, poly that, polyester.
And really into relationship anarchy. Chaos magician.
Magician.
Reality hacker, pagan, stereotypical SJW, probably.
Oh my.
Yeah, you think? I mean, honestly, you're not the stereotypical SJW. I feel like the stereotypical SJW is just going to be in here writing like, don't swipe right if you're racist. It's like you're collecting as many nonsensical words as possible and constructing like an alternate reality. I've never felt more disconnected from like a huge segment of the population until reading this. I really underestimate how rarely I ever interact with these types of people in real life. It's actually almost never.
Yeah, it's like somebody was saying just the other day, I think Biden is like, well, if you just knew more trans people, you know, you wouldn't be afraid of them, you evil Nazi Republican. It's like, well, I just don't know any trans people because they're just, again, if if the trans is really good, you don't know. You know, you wouldn't know if you saw Blaire White walking down the street that she is a trans person. You just wouldn't. It wouldn't occur to you.
Language. And I'm sorry, why are they all mentally ill?
That's an interesting point, Blaire.
Not even making fun of them. They literally all have mentally ill in their bios.
Yeah. Well, that must be a new badge of honor, I guess, or something.
So Joy is in a lesbian section, is what you need to know. And I'm blurring out faces on this because I do feel like it's a little unfair to show their faces. You know, I know that Tinder and dating apps are still like public, but it's also like, I don't know, it's not like Twitter or Instagram. Like they're there to date. But
you're not trying to attack the people. You're just going after, and it's certainly fine. Yeah. But this is in the lesbian section. I swear I see some growth on the chin there. Okay.
A little bad showing their face, but what I will say is this is not a woman or even a trans woman. This is just a dude in the lesbian section. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, do we have the pronouns identified here? She, they. She identifies as a demisexual, trans, feminine, queer.
Demisexual, trans, feminine.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like literally too sober for this. Maria says pronouns bun south.
So she's probably looking for someone with pronouns of hamburger. I don't know. Or hot dog.
Allosexual.
There we go again. Allosexual. True cute.
True cute? What the
fuck is that?
What's that?
I don't know.
I'm Googling true cute.
Okay, we got some more work to do here. University of Nebraska at Kearney. Well, we could talk to Riggs. He might be interested in Maria. I don't know though. She's a. I'm sorry. See, I missed. I'm sorry, Maria. Bun is a true cute. True cute. 9 o'clock shadow. Yeah, John G. Beginning of hell. Exactly. She doesn't look like a dude. This guy with the braid on. It's. I don't think it is. I think it's a guy. It's a guy. Go on, Blaire.
True. I can't even say it. These people are crazy. Define true cute. A slur used by trans medicalists to call any non-dysphoric transgender person to imply they aren't real trans people. Yeah, you.
A slur used by trans men, non-disorder transgender to imply they aren't real.
That's you. That's you. You are that slur. Period. I'll say it. If your pronouns are bun and buns off, you ain't trans. I don't care. Flower crown advocate, uwu, triggers, scopophobia.
Scopophobia.
Self-harm, Donald Trump, cultural appropriation. If you aren't a vegan,
kiss my ass.
Delete yourself. People really need help.
Oh,
like our country's going through it. So here's another one in the lesbian section.
You know, I'm kind of wondering, actually, Blaire, if some of these guys, clearly a dude in the lesbian section, it's kind of a joke, maybe. Who knows? Because this ain't a chick.
They have listed themselves as a woman.
No,
there is not one small aspect.
There's no ounce of woman in this person. No,
of this person's presentation that is a woman. Like, honestly, I feel like lesbians get the real short end of the stick when it comes to woke ideology. It's like, this is what the result is for them. It's like whole entire men up in the lesbian section, and they're just allowed to be. I'm a right.
Blaire, you may have noticed that Boo attended the New School of Communism at Columbia. Probably not a surprise.
Big heart, sexually fluid. I love the weirdness in people.
Okay.
Wrong section, babe. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, I mean, just, you know.
It's not giving lesbian.
I mean, maybe Boo has a kink for, you know, chicks that, you know, swing that way. I don't know.
It's not giving anything. You know, I haven't had many lesbian friends in my life, but the ones that I have, every single one of them without fail have talked about this trope that very much is real and has happened to them, where men try to
get them to
get with them to like cure them of their lesbianism, or like force themselves onto them and be like, you know, you just have never had the right man. You're not.
I mean, not forcing. I'm not laughing at the forcing of it, but these guys say, hey, baby, oh no, I'm a lesbian. One night with me and I'll change your mind.
Lesbian, whatever. Yeah. And it's like woke ideology literally permits that. Like, this is straight up a man in the lesbian section. Honestly, low key, it's like, shout out to lesbians, because no wonder y'all are the ones that are speaking out the most about this. Because
I mean, not all lesbians, obviously, but some are more masculine, right? This is a little bit, a little too masculine.
What they're doing to you. Next, Kelly says,
oh my God. Look at the Powerpuff hair there, guys. Look at that. Oh, the blue lipstick, because I have to be different. See? I've got my uniform just like everyone else, but I'm so unique. Does she give us the pronouns? No. Okay.
I'm sentient trash.
All right.
I mean, you said it, not me, girl.
Non-binary femme queer.
Definitely wasn't thinking it. Non-binary femme queer. I'm not a woman, and don't call me one.
Okay. You're not a woman.
This is a woman.
Shh. Stop it.
I like lots of other stuff. Bedroom pop, cartoons, food, puppies, aliens, you name it. You know, you should have opened with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fix your dating profile, Kelly. You're going to open with that you like cartoons and food and puppies and aliens. And you're going to cut out all the bullshit.
Just cut out the other shit.
The nonsensical, mentally ill ramblings.
Like, maybe at the end you put, look, you know, I'm looking for a chick or whatever. You know.
Just talk about shit.
Maybe.
So this is a lovely woman in a communist dress.
How you doing? How you doing? Another Sarah. Is she going to pretend she's not a female? Or is she
taking
a
photo with an iPhone?
I hate that damn capitalism.
Oh my God, I just hate capitalism.
It's terrible. Terrible. Yes.
You look stupid. I officially feel so bad for men and lesbians.
You should.
And myself for subjecting myself to these people. That is it for this video, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as my podcast channel. I'm loving.
And the link is below if you want to check out Blaire's channel. Yeah, I don't know. Dressed in a communist dress with an iPhone. I wonder. Well, it's Steve Jobs. He was a communist at heart, wasn't he? Andrew Thorsten, at least she's skinny. Yeah, no, give her that. Long hair, sure. Yeah. Easter Sunday. Let's see. They're going to put chips in these people that can maintain. Yeah. How we wouldn't want that. Would we? We can't burden the females for having to take their pills every day. We wouldn't want to do that. Nick Tala, I'm not playing along with this. Blaire's a guy grifting off, calling out the very shit he's a part of. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fat communism is an oxymoron. Shiny face, yeah. Blaire needed to get a little bit of whatever they put on your face, powder or something to get that shine going. Thank Christ, but Chris, this is over. Oh, you didn't like Blaire? Oh, come on, it was kind of fun. Let's see, what else do we have? This is actually pretty good. Joe Rogan and what's his name? Matt Walsh. Oh, look. We're live. Right there.
I have to see this.
Look at that.
And I expected it to be like, I thought it would be like arguments with people, or it would be very.
No, I almost never come up in my own recommendations. I don't know if that's part of the deal, or even if I don't sign in, I'm never recommended.
Very, very confrontational, but instead, I think you did it masterfully. What you did is you just let these people explain themselves the way they would talk if you weren't there.
Using their what's funny is Matt Walsh did the what is a woman stuff. Maybe we'll find a clip of that. It's pretty good.
The way they would talk to people who agree with what they're saying. And by not pushing back, I think you allowed them to let all the crazy out. And it's like,
let them unreel the rope in so many words.
It's hard to
light their own fire.
Describe to people that aren't aware of what's going on, of how wild this stuff has gotten. But first of all, tell me, what was the process of making this? Like, how long did it take? What was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, thanks for talking about it so much on your podcast, by the way. It's been a huge boost for us. And we, I had this idea.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. He does have a good beard though. He's beardy.
You'd really have to go back several years, because it occurred to me maybe back in 2017 that when this transgender stuff was starting to really gain mainstream traction.
Was it about 2017? I was trying to think of that the other day. When did this kind of start? Obviously there's always been transsexual people and gay people, whatever, but this all these young women just going crazy over I'm non-binary and I'm allo fluid and I'm polyester,
which I think happened that was like
maybe 7 years ago. Yeah, probably.
Maybe when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner, that was the moment that I think it exploded onto the mainstream.
You think it had anything to do with Trump being elected though? I don't know. Maybe
not when it began, but it exploded into mainstream. Right around that time, it sort of occurred to me that the people promoting this stuff have a problem, which is that we're supposed to accept someone like Bruce as a woman, but then what exactly does that mean? What are we accepting him as? Like, he says, I identify as a woman. Well, what are you identifying as? What are we? If you're a woman, well, I know what a woman was before.
What does it mean? Yeah. It's a fair question.
But if now we're including a guy like Bruce, then what is a woman now?
I mean, it's crazy because, Bruce Jenner, and I'm not dead naming him. I'm talking about the Olympic winner back in the 70s. It's an amazing athlete. It's really.
And so I started asking this question. It was really basic, just like, what is a woman? What are you trying to say about womanhood now? And couldn't get anyone to answer it. I mean, and mostly it's just on Twitter, challenging someone on the left. Just give me a definition. What
they'll say probably, and I used to be on Twitter a long time ago. Educate yourself. It's not my job to educate you. You need to educate yourself.
Your definition of the word.
Right. How many times have you heard that?
And none of them would do it. So at a certain point, I thought, well, we have to find a way to go out and put this question in front of them. And that's sort of where the idea for the documentary came from. And we knew going in that we wanted 2 things, well, 3 things. One is we have the we have the mission behind it, the message that we want to get across, but we also want it to be a piece of entertainment, you know, because a lot of conservative documentaries, not all of them, but many of them are just, you feel like you're watching an extended version of a podcast or something. It's not, it's not a piece of entertainment. So we wanted it to be that. And then we also knew that the way this is going to work, if it works at all, is if I'm just asking questions. Because if it's me going on a tour around the country yelling at people, that would be satisfying for me emotionally, but it just wouldn't prove anything other than what people already know.
It's more fun, I think, to let themselves paint themselves into a corner. That's the funnest part, because then the heads explode. They don't know where to go. You know, a lot of these woke-tivists, so to speak, you just merely need to push back a little. And it's like, poof. No, you're a hater. You're who hurt you? They don't have a foundation for their beliefs. They've just been told, believe this if you want to be part of the in crowd. And when you ask a simple question like, what is a woman? They don't know what to tell you. It's called cognitive dissonance, because they know what you're saying is correct. But in order to be part of the club, you've got to believe in this other crap. That's all it is.
Which is that two sides yell at each other. So we wanted to give sort of gender ideology a chance to hang itself by its own incoherences, which I think is what happened.
I think you definitely accomplished that. And that it's so funny that question, what is a woman, is so difficult to answer.
It's not really. It is for people who have cognitive dissonance. Nobody believes in any of this garbage, but they have to. They have to pretend that they do in order to be a part of the club.
And then they'll say, well, someone who identifies as a woman. And you say, well, what does that mean though?
Yeah.
Right.
And then they want to just stop talking. Like, what was the politician that actually had you leave his office when you?
Yeah, we had a couple that stormed out, but only one made it on camera, and that was Mark Takano, congressman in California, and he's one of the advocates. There's a reason we chose all these people. It wasn't just random. He's an advocate. He's not just a Democrat politician. He's an advocate for the Equality Act, which is this push by Democrats to kind of federalize all this stuff on a national level, so that all across the country, for example, men have the right to use the women's restroom, and opens up all the sports teams and all that, just settles it, takes it away from the states. And so he's an advocate of that, and he's a good guy to talk to. And he sat there for about 30 minutes, especially when I'm asking him the easy questions, and he would give his like filibustering
bullshit
answer.
Yeah, his bullshit answer. Yes, yes, Matt, we know. Well, you know.
But then once I started asking real questions, that's when he got really uncomfortable. You could even see in the film, he keeps looking over my shoulder, and that's because his aide is standing right behind my back the entire time. Yeah. And but she never. I kept expecting her to cut it off and shut it down, but she never did. And eventually, he just had enough of it, and he got up and left.
Just got up and left. Yeah, that's an adult thing to do.
But the thing that made him leave was I didn't even get to ask him the what is a woman question. I asked him, I asked him, you know, there are males who want to use the women's restroom or the women's locker room, but then there are females who don't want to see an individual with a penis in the locker room. So you have two competing claims here, two people who have feelings, the women who feel like they don't want to see this, it makes them feel bad to see it. And then the men.
I mean, what you do here a lot of times, well, but what about the women that are uncomfortable with you coming into the locker room? Don't their feelings about that count? No. It's only me, center of the universe right here. And I should take my penis proudly into the girls' room. What about the feelings of the women? They don't care.
And who it makes them feel bad if they can't use the restroom. So who wins out? How do you balance that? I think it's a fair question.
It's a very good question.
Yeah. And that's when he just got up and said the interview's over and walked out.
Yeah. Let's you want to watch that? Let's go ahead and look at that here while we're on the topic, shall we? Paste. There you go. Paste. You can do it. You can do it. So this apparently is a congressman from somewhere.
There are some women who say, and I've talked to a few who say this. They say, hey, you know, I'd like some privacy in the bathroom. I'd prefer not to encounter naked penises, frankly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Can you guess which party this guy might be a member of? Any idea? Any idea?
They say even that the penis is a telltale sign that someone is a male.
What if they have one put on?
I mean, there are people who've kind of really bought into the rumor that only men have penises. What? How do we?
This guy was elected. This guy's an elected official.
Account for that. How do you respond to that?
Yes. Sir.
Well,
how about the feelings of the girls that don't feel comfortable? Why don't we talk about that? No?
well, what I would say is that
Yes.
most transgender people that I know, and it's a very, I think, distinct minority of people. It is a very, I think,
tiny fraction.
we're talking not about a lot of people.
And
I think a person who wants to use a woman's bathroom, who identifies as transgender, really does think of themselves as a female. So,
okay.
So how we go about trying to,
let me just toss this out there for you guys. Do you hear very often about a trans man, say a female who wants to identify as a male? Do you hear very often about people like that wanting to go into male locker rooms? Seems kind of one-sided. Seems like there's always someone that wants to go into the girls' locker room. Now, I'm not saying that means anything. What I'm saying is that if a woman went into the men's locker room and said, I'm a man, I'm going to take a shower with you guys, I don't think anybody would really give a shit. But you see, men and women are different. Women might feel triggered, uncomfortable seeing a naked dude taking a shower with them. Just trying to point it out here.
Respect their basic right to live. I think it will be an important part of
their basic right
and,
to live. Basic right to live. So someone's trying to take away their right to exist. Is that right?
With bathrooms. Well, wait a minute. Bathrooms are. Bathrooms are. Where you want to take this conversation.
I'm just curious. There's usually newer buildings. There's like a family, like an anyone bathroom. You could uncontroversially go into that one. Be pretty straightforward.
Instead of the basic right to just life.
To life. The right to be alive is what we're talking
is something that I'm kind of mystified that you're kind of not focusing on first. We're going straight to the controversy over bathrooms.
So Matt was supposed to what? Come out against trans people being able to exist? He doesn't believe that. So why would he? Nobody is saying that. God. Notice he's getting out the paintbrush.
I think this interview is over.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this interview is over.
I just had one last question.
Okay.
No, I'm
done.
We want to know what is a woman?
Please turn off the cameras.
Excuse me. So we're going to end the interview. If you guys could please pack up and return the office.
I just wanted to know.
Okay.
I came all this way to know what.
Thank you.
They're fair. I just wanted to know, what is a woman?
And you're not going to find out.
Ooh.
There are some women who say, and I've talked to a few.
You're not going to find out. Let's see, are there more? Matt Walsh revisits his What is a Woman interview with some doctor person. All right. Black Rifle Coffee. All right. I mean, I get it. You know, some people are, they're anti-American. I don't know. God only knows what the fuck people make up. But I get the coffee. But I've got too much of it, to be honest with you. I haven't been drinking as much coffee, and it's stacking.
Well, you know,
up
we
in
talked to
my
a lot
belly.
of people for my film, What is a Woman, which is streaming now exclusively on the Daily Wire. And you go to whatiswoman.com and get signed up, and you can watch the film right now. We had were unintentionally hilarious. Many were disturbing. Veering significantly over to the disturbing end of the spectrum is my interview with Dr. Michelle Forcier, who is, as you'll hear her proudly identify herself, a gender-affirming pediatrician and also an abortionist. We flew up to...
Well, I mean, it you know, it comes in a package, doesn't it? You got to kind of be everything if you're going to be on that
Providence,
side of
Rhode
the world
Island,
there.
to speak with Dr. Forcier. She was, you know, friendly enough at first. And what we found in many of the interviews that you'll see in What is a Woman is gender ideologues are very polite and nice right up until the moment when you express any skepticism at all.
Well, because they know they're getting painted into a corner, Matt. And you're very good at doing that, by the way.
But before we get to that point, where things really start to sort of fall apart, let's get to know Michelle a little bit.
Okay. Let's see. Providence, Rhode Island, eh?
My name.
Do they say A in Providence?
My name is Michelle Forcier.
So, what can we learn immediately? Can we learn anything about this person just by the obvious blue hair?
And I have a medical degree from University of Connecticut, residency, University of Utah Pediatrics, and I've worked for a number of different Planned Parenthoods for 20 years. I do advanced contraception and abortion, as well as gender hormones and sort of
advanced contraception. Okay.
Looking at the whole sort of schema of gender, sex, and reproductive justice.
So again, the whole package, the reproductive justice. Of course. Michelle and Forcier. Yes, yeah, indeed. Smurfhead. Yes, I saw that. Beavis Jones. Iridium Kush is here. Hey, Iridium. Me and Undead Chronic got together late last night. So too bad you missed it. It was streamed on my channel if you're interested.
You've done a lot of work in this field. Could you just start by telling us?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
At what age can a child first begin to transition into another gender or identify themselves as a gender different from how they were born?
Okay. Do we have any guesses in the chat? What age do you think she's going to say? And how closely does that align to the age of consent in the United States? In most states, it's 16, 17 years old. How far off from that do you think we're going to get?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's research and data that show that babies and infants understand differences in gender.
Yes, but that really wasn't the question. But okay, go ahead.
Some children figure out their gender really early. And the reason why we say, oh, that's interesting or important is because they're figuring out their gender identity is not necessarily congruent with their sex assigned at birth.
Okay, the sex is, I mean, they've got all the fucking words, don't they? Their sex is assigned at birth. What do you think? Well, he's got kind of a small pee-pee. We'll call him a girl.
When the doctor sees the penis and says, this is a male, has the sex of male, that's an arbitrary distinction.
It's an arbitrary assignment. Evil doctors, probably white Nazis, probably voted for Trump. They're just out there assigning sex to babies when they're born. Just assigning it.
Telling that family, based on that little penis, that your child is absolutely 100% male identified, no matter what else occurs in their life, That's not correct.
Again, that's nobody's arguing that if an adult person, say an 18-year-old person or greater, feels the need to transition, nobody's saying anything about that. No, we're talking about children here. Anything that happens to them their entire life, no. They might be gay, they might be trans, we don't know. But as babies, come on now.
So what does gender affirmation care? You're a big proponent of. If we walk through, a child is sitting down with you, is questioning their gender. What's the gender affirmation process?
Yeah, tell us about the process.
Affirmation means that as a pediatrician, as someone who says my job is to provide the best medical care for you, is I need to listen really carefully. And how I put it in words for kids so that they can understand it is, tell me your story. Where have you been in terms of your gender and your gender identity?
You're talking to a child. Where have you been with respect to your gender identity? Do they even know what that means? I mean, wouldn't you have to kind of prep them with the definitions? Wouldn't you?
Where are you right now? And more excitingly, where would you like to be in the future?
Okay.
Have you ever met a 4-year-old
Yeah.
who believes in Santa Claus?
You ever met a boy or girl that dressed up in the opposite's clothing when they were kids? Yeah.
So this is someone who believes that a fat man is traveling through the sky on a flying reindeer at lightning speed, coming down his chimney with presents.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a chimney, if you don't have a fireplace, doesn't matter, because Santa can somehow do it. It's magic.
Would you say that this is someone who maybe has a tenuous grasp on reality?
They have an appropriate 4-year-old handle on the reality that's very real for them.
Agreed. But Santa Claus is real for them, but Santa Claus is not actually real.
Yeah, well, but Santa Claus does deliver their Christmas presents.
Well, yeah, but he's not real, though.
To that child, they are.
Okay. Tooth fairy as well, right?
I see a child who, believes in Santa Claus, and then let's say this is a boy and he says, I'm a girl. This is someone who can't distinguish between fantasy and reality. So how could you take that as a reality?
The good doctor is getting a little bit, yeah, boy, he got me with that one. Now what am I going to say?
I would say that as a pediatrician and as a parent, I would say how wonderful my 4-year-old in their imagination is.
Oh, what is a woman? Can a man become a woman?
I don't know what women are.
It's a constellation.
Are you a cat?
No.
Your sperm don't make you male.
I am a wolfarian and a member of the furry fandom.
Oh my God.
Are you able to communicate with the wolves?
Yes.
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Can you tell me what a cat is?
If you want to become a lady but you're a man, you have something wrong.
This is actually a genuine mistake. I am sorry I even came up there.
You want to tell us what a woman is?
How do I know that I'm not? I guess because I got it.
That would be a strong indication.
One of the hardest things as we did this film, especially in interviewing somebody
like this,
like that, is not like my instinct just to yell at them to begin with.
You don't want to do that.
But that's not what it's kind of a short film if it's just me going around yelling at people. The objective here is to ask questions, and
let them hang themselves. Yes, absolutely.
So all we did through the whole film.
Not literally, obviously. Oh, you hater! You're evil.
Is ask questions, and let gender ideology essentially hang itself is the idea.
Yes, exactly.
And to show, is this something that can withstand scrutiny or
no, it can't.
Or not.
Nope.
Even just basic scrutiny. And what we discovered is that it can't. Nope. So what's happening in that exchange is, first of all, she says, talking about a child who sits down with her, is she wants to know about their gender journey and where would you like to be in the future? So she's talking about a child's like 5-year gender plan. But the point I was trying to get across to her is that children don't have a grasp on reality. I mean, even if in theory people could choose their own gender, which they can't, but if they could, it wouldn't make sense to say that a child could choose it. Children believe in Santa Claus.
And the tooth
So
fairy.
what do they know about reality?
And the Easter Bunny.
If a child is 4 years old and believes that not only Santa Claus is real, but that fairies and dragons, and lives appropriately in this kind of fantasy world, and then the boy says that I'm a girl, that claim exists within the same fantasy world. This is just imagination. This is a kid who just doesn't understand the distinction between fantasy and reality.
Now, aren't these allegedly the woke crowd full of science? Let the science lead things. All you got to do is say, you know what? I believe in God. I believe the Spirit of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit is in my body. They would look at you like you're the biggest fucking freak in the world. What do you mean? There's no God. You have no proof of that. You have no proof that a 4 or 5-year-old kid is the opposite of what they are. Science, remember that? No, it seems like science is only when it's convenient.
So how can they make these determinations? But then again, as we found there, Michelle wouldn't even affirm that Santa doesn't exist. So I was unclear about that also. Like, do you actually think that Santa exists? What's happening? But it's as you're talking to these people, it's like you feel yourself going slightly insane.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty bewildering exchange there, but it only gets weirder from here.
Okay, good.
Let's keep watching.
Let's go.
Male gametes. That's what makes me male.
No, your sperm don't make you male.
Really? How about my chromosomes? Is that scientific enough? You know, XY? Or are we XY?
Then what does?
We're different than women. I think we're XY.
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whose truth are we talking about?
Now we go to crazy town.
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
Matt, you need to educate yourself. You evil man.
If I see a chicken laying eggs and I say that's a female chicken laying eggs, did I assign female, or am I just observing a physical reality that's happening in the world?
Well, it's the chicken the chicken archery that assigned that poor chicken. It could be a non-binary chicken. You evil man, you.
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
I probably.
Does a chicken commit suicide? Let's frame it, because you're trying
the chicken has sex like any biological
chicken has
organism.
An assigned gender.
We're on the fast train to Crazyville.
But a chicken doesn't have a gender identity.
So we assign female to chickens when they lay eggs?
That's where these people have been twisting the words, right? Your gender expression can be infinite, right? You can express yourself any way you want. You could be alphabet, you could whatever. It's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about literally carving up people and trying to make them what they're not. You're male, you're female, or rarely intersex. That's what you got. Now, if you want to dress like a woman or whatever, dress like a dude, that's fine. No, nobody's arguing with you. You can do that. But that's not what we're discussing. We do not care about 18-year-plus adults. Even if you're a teenager, you want to dress up like a girl, go for it. That's okay. No problem.
We assume they're female if they lay eggs.
That right there will go down for me as maybe one of the most probably, and every other thing that makes it on this particular list is also happened in the film, but certainly one of the most outrageous exchanges I've ever had with anybody. And of course, see, this is what happens when you start asking questions to the proponent of gender ideology. Is they end up backing themselves into various corners, and they have to make increasingly more wild sort of claims to get themselves out of the corners that they've backed themselves into.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to do too. And of course, our news media doesn't do that. Right. I mean, it's like child's play. You just need to ask a couple questions. Just be nice about it and say, okay, well, tell me about the chicken. Your chickens are male and female. No, they're assigned that. Really? So there's no particular difference between a rooster and a hen. It's just because of societal constructs, right? Is that the way it is? Nothing at all different between a hen and a rooster. Okay.
And so when you're talking about sex, for example, like it's all on a spectrum, and sex is something that is, as she says in our conversation, she says that sex is assigned at birth.
Yeah, assigned at birth. I think it's assigned at conception, really. But of course, there's other things. You got to cook it for 9 months. So
that just like doctors are just deciding this kind of arbitrarily.
Yeah, arbitrarily, yeah. No reason except for
score mega savings with Michael's
these
3-day
people, I
mega
guess.
deals this Friday through Sunday.
Where's this
Don't
at?
miss out.
Michael. Okay.
Made with Mexican spices, made for nacho cheese sauce, only at Taco Bell.
That looks pretty tasty.
Well, if that's the nature of sex, then what about other organisms aside from human beings?
Yeah.
Okay, we would also say that when a chicken is laying eggs, oh, well, that's a female chicken. Are we assigning that? Is that just something we've decided?
Well, it is. We came up with the terminology. I mean, a female chicken, you could call it a male, or you could call it a rooster, right? It's just the language we've adopted. But yeah. But there's a difference, obviously. You could call a hen a rooster and a rooster a hen, but they're still different. They're not the same.
The chicken is female? Or is the chicken female? And if the chicken is female, then that would tell us something about the nature of biological sex, which is that it's not assigned, it is observed.
Yes.
But she can't go along with that. And so she starts talking about the chicken's gender identity and whether chickens commit suicide.
And chickens, can they cry?
And it doesn't get much better from there. Yeah. Well, last week, Kim Kardashian announced her new role as chief taste consultant for Beyond Meat, an alternative meat maker. Its products. I shouldn't have to say that. Consultant for Good Rancher. 18-ounce prime center-cut ribeyes. Free with
goodranchers.com.
The order. That's a $100 value for free. That's promo code Walsh at goodranchers.com/Walsh. This is a deal you don't want to pass up. Don't support crazy people and their fake meat. Buy from Good Ranchers instead.
Yeah, I was looking at the Deerberg's ad here in St. Louis, one of the grocery stores. It's like, here's this delicious turkey. There's a fresh turkey you can buy from a local farm, and here's some tofurkey. Yeah.
At what age does the medical transition begin with medication?
So medical affirmation begins when the patient says they're ready for it.
When the patient says, a 5-year-old
that
child.
could be,
Excuse me. How about if the parents of the child agree to it? Is there nothing in there to say parental involvement here? No?
A kiddo who is just starting puberty and panicking because they're getting breast buds or their penis is getting bigger and busier.
Mine never got bigger. I got ripped off.
They're worried about all kinds of masculine changes. And that way, puberty blockers, which are completely reversible.
No, they're not. She is lying. That is not true.
And don't have permanent effects.
Bullshit.
Are wonderful because we can put that pause on puberty.
Come on. Oh my God.
It's like if you were listening to music, you put the pause on and we stop the blockers and puberty would go right back to where it was.
Right. So giving children prior to puberty a bunch of crazy hormones and shit is going to have no effect on them. Well, if it doesn't have a major effect on them, why are you using them then? Isn't that the idea? Or am I missing something?
The next note in the song just delayed that period of time.
So this is a part from later in the film as we start getting into more of the specifics here about puberty blockers. And I'm not going to say myself right now a lot in response to that because you have to go watch the film.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I'm asking questions and we don't just ask questions of people on this side. We bring in other people. So there's a little bit of a back and forth here, but we're going to get a response in the film to this claim that puberty can just be, just pause it. As she says, like music. Does the human body work that way?
No, it does not. And this doctor knows that. But again, it's part of this bullshit they have to spew. I mean, they can't say it's going to cause irreversible damage. Of course, what if the child changes their mind? Oh, no. Well, it's like putting your music on pause. No, it's not.
I mean, is that the way it works?
No.
Where you can take a drug to intentionally interfere with certain normal, healthy processes. And
I mean, if it doesn't make any changes, why would you be giving the kids these things? I mean, if it's not going to do anything, it's not going to harm anything, it's not going to change anything, well, why would you give it to him then? Now, you'll notice, too, a lot of these people, they got to get them before puberty. I wonder why.
And then there's
Could it be? Could it be that if you leave these kids alone, let them get through that puberty, the initial hard parts, and then they start growing up, it all works out. I wonder why they'd want to get them early.
There's no negative consequences at all?
Of course not. So that's like eating vitamins. No big deal.
Stop taking the drug and pick up where you left off?
That's right. Yeah. That's
Which, of course, the interesting thing is that even if that was true, which it isn't, as you'll see in the film, but even if it was true, well, then wouldn't that mean, I mean, if a child's taking puberty blockers to stop their normal development,
yes,
and then we're just putting it on pause for, let's say, 5 years.
Okay.
And then they decide that, okay, I don't want to take this anymore. Well, at a minimum, now they're going to be 5 years behind in their growth and development. So even according to her version of events, like at a minimum, you're going to have stunted growth and you're going to have someone who is behind in their physical development. But actually, the consequences are a lot worse than that.
Yes.
30% off
All right.
and Black Friday
Black
deals
Friday
all month
deal.
long? Yes.
I guess every
Slumberland
Friday is a
Furniture.
Black Friday this month.
Having the very sacred right to cast your vote and make your voice heard by way of going to a polling booth and
Foundation
casting
for Electric
in support.
Okay, thank you.
As we discover in the film, and as we get into in next exchange about the puberty blockers themselves, what are they?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yes, what do they do?
What is their actual purpose? Let's watch that. One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which has actually been used to chemically castrate sex offenders.
Indeed.
You know what? I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview because it seems like it's going in a particular direction.
Yeah, where you don't want to go because then you'd have to answer some really difficult questions. Am I right?
Well, you're a medical professional.
I am a medical professional.
So you don't want to talk about the drugs that you give to kids, or
no?
Again, I'm a physician and I use medication. You're choosing exploitive words. Drugs I give to kids.
I'm choosing a
chemical
word that was
castration.
in the dictionary.
That's not a correct term for puberty blocking.
I could like look it up on my phone, but I'm pretty sure.
Facts and data mean nothing to these people.
If I looked it up, like,
only their brain cancer.
You can look it up on your phone.
it says medical definition: the administration of a drug to bring about a marked reduction in the body's production of androgens and especially testosterone.
And I'm saying, as a pediatrician who takes care of hundreds of these kids, when you use that terminology, you are being malignant and harmful.
I mean, there are some who would say that giving chemical castration drugs to kids is malignant and harmful.
It's about the context of caring for a child and seeing the suffering that kids can have that have not been in affirmative home situations.
So that was the part in our conversation where things got things got a bit contentious. But I wouldn't say that's when they started to get contentious. Actually, what we discovered in doing these interviews is that I kind of knew going in. I had certain points in mind where I thought, okay, well, when I ask this question, things might get a little bit tense, and I kind of know, well, because that's more of a challenging question.
I mean, couldn't she have answered that question with, yes, the drug is used in that particular scenario, but we have a different, different method, different dosage or something for this particular. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, would it?
And what I found so often in these interviews is that things got tense much earlier than I originally thought they would, because there were questions that I thought would be really easy for the person that I'm talking to that turned out not to be easy at all.
Nope.
Questions like, what's the difference between sex and gender? You know, these are like, that's supposed to be a softball. But even that, things start to go off the rails in a lot of these interviews. And I ask even a question like that. Because what we found is that these people, these gender ideologues, especially the ones who are in this industry, and they're making a lot of money off of promoting gender confusion, especially in kids, it's that what we found is that they are not prepared to encounter any skepticism at all.
No.
They're not prepared to answer any questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the same with
the only questions they're prepared to answer are the questions that are not really questions at all.
Well, or questions that would affirm their mental illness. Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, this is the model that we've been dealing with fembots and BLM people, and they cannot support. They cannot. I mean, look at you. Okay, you have the alphabet folks running around, right? And they're saying, trans rights or human rights. What fucking rights do trans people not have in the United States? What rights do gay people not have? I know of none, and I'm willing to be wrong, but I've not heard of anything. I mean, as far as I know, they have all the same rights. They can vote. They can they have a job, buy a house. What rights don't they have? But it doesn't matter. You see, you ask that same question. I bet you 99 out of 100 fembots, you ask the question to, what rights don't women have? The answer you'll get is, well, 100 years ago, or coverture laws, 200 years ago, women couldn't have the right to. But what about today? It's the same brain virus, guys. It's the same. I don't know what you call it. It's a virus. It's propaganda. It's lies. It's inculcation into our children. They hear these things in college. Oh yeah, women are oppressed. Well, they hear it so often in college for 4 years. They come out and they believe that women are oppressed. In what way? In 2022, what way are women oppressed? Oh well, but the CEOs and all that stupid nonsense that means nothing. Sorry. Legally, tell me how women are oppressed in this country. What rights do you not have that men do in the United States? Which ones? They can't answer because there are none. Their ideology is built on bullshit.
Right. Questions like, how?
And the same thing here. I mean, even in this case, the government of England came out and said most trans children who are having this gender identity issue, they grow out of it. You just give them a little time and they grow out of it. From the National Health Service in England. Have you heard that on the news? No.
How meaningful is it to you to be able to help people in their gender journey? Like those kind of questions, where it's just a setup for them to give a pre-planned, canned, speech.
Now they're just trying to guilt you. Well, why do you not want these children to live their best life? You're an evil Republican. You're from the Daily Wire.
So by the time we got to this exchange, it had already gotten pretty tense. And of course, I asked her about Lupron. Now, this is a drug that she gives to kids. And as we hear from somebody else in the film, Scott Nugent, who has experience with these kinds of drugs, personal experience, this drug in particular is a drug. It is actually, by definition, chemical castration, which is why I wasn't planning on doing this, but I pulled out my phone, look up the definition of chemical castration. She says that chemical castration, that's an exploitative word.
No. I mean, two things can be true at the same time, right?
And I'm being harmful by using that word. Well,
the drugs could be used for chemical castration of sex offenders, and it can also be the same drug used in this. Why is that so hard for them to admit? I wonder.
Oh, look up the definition of chemical castration, and that is a puberty blocker. That is, by definition, when you give a kid a puberty blocker, you are performing chemical castration on the kid, period.
Yep.
And we know that because the Lupron specifically has been used to chemically castrate sex offenders. You notice in that exchange, by the way, she didn't deny. She takes issue with the words that I'm using. She threatens to get up and storm out. She's offended by the way that I'm phrasing it, the words.
But she didn't deny it.
But she never says,
Nope.
"Oh no, that's totally incorrect. Lupron does not do that. Lupron's never been used that way."
Because she can't. That's the beauty of backing them into a corner, because they can't get out of it easily.
Say that, because she can't. I don't have to tell you that gas prices are really high right now. You've probably noticed yourself every time you go to the pump for free. It is a free app to emphasize, and use promo code Walsh for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first tank. Ask everyone, and which is, what is a woman? And probably is not going to surprise you by now that she doesn't exactly have an answer for it. But let's
I wouldn't be.
Let's listen to what she comes up with.
Shocker.
So we're going on this journey. Boys can be girls, girls can be boys, men can be women, women can be men.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, what is a woman?
What is a woman? A woman is someone who claims that as their identity.
Just like that. I'm a woman, so now I'm a female. Right.
It could be many things to many people.
I'm a chicken, so now I'm a chicken. I'm a hamster, so now I'm a hamster. What? This is the kind of nonsense these people believe. They honestly believe it.
That was our answer. Well, a woman is anyone. And that was, by the way, not to give any spoilers away, but that is
pretty much
the answer from the left to the question, which is a non-answer. It's the same thing as not answering.
Yeah,
that's but that is the answer. A woman is someone who says they're a woman.
Yeah.
And of course, to everyone who gives me that answer in the film, I have the follow-up. Well, a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. What are they identifying as? And around we go.
And well,
because they don't have an answer.
Of course not.
To the question.
No.
This is a medical doctor who can't tell you what a woman is.
That's right.
I mean, this is someone who if someone goes to her and says, as a man, and says, I'm really a woman and I want to transition into a woman, she will help facilitate that process. And yet she doesn't know what the word means.
Yeah, again, this is where you get into a corner. Because you could have all the surgery, right? You could have yourself surgically changed into a female, so to speak. But yet they're still unwilling to admit that a female has a vagina and a uterus and breasts, and they're physically smaller. They have different chromosomes. They can't say that. I wonder what the feminists think about all this crap.
She doesn't actually know. She, by her own testimony, when someone says, I want to transition to a woman, she doesn't even know what that means. Like, what are you transitioning into?
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to be?
As we
what are you going to be when you get there? We don't need
over and over again in the film. And that was just a few minutes of the film. Only one person of the dozens that we spoke to. And I can tell you right now that what we heard in those clips there, I don't think any of it qualifies as quite the craziest thing we heard. The chicken part gets pretty close, still not all the way there. There's so much more that you need to see, but you have to go to whatisawoman.com and subscribe to see it. A lot more where that came from, I promise you. Go see for yourself. Whatisawoman.com.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
Well, those were all clips from our film, What is a Woman, which if you haven't heard by now, you go to whatisawoman.com and you can be subscribed to get that full film. You got to be a subscriber for that. But
all right. Do you? I thought they had it on the internet. Okay. Let's see what we have here.
There's always some transphobia to react to. Are you ready? Hey Spuds, how's it going? It's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. Your first video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome back. Or welcome here. Thank you for being here. I hope you're well. Today is an unplanned video, but this one has been very requested. I kept noticing I was getting messages and being tagged.
No way. You were getting messages about what?
To react to and about this same trailer for a documentary film thing that is looking suspiciously transphobic.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, you're just such a little sweetheart.
And a lot of you have been like, hey, Jamie, maybe you could react to this. So, I'm here to react to it. Good. It's called What is a Woman from the Daily Wire, which I think I've heard of.
They're a bunch of Nazis. Yeah.
By somebody or involving heavily somebody called Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
What is a woman?
Immediately, is he wearing a sandwich board that says, What is a woman?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
Can you tell me that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea. Please, if one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
What is that? Oh,
What is that? It's a fair question.
oh wow. So a dude going to a woman's march
Mhm.
and going up to women and asking them to define what a woman is.
Well, I would think women would have the best definition since they would be one, maybe.
I'm probably acting like it's some big gotcha moment. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not forget the sandwich board. I mean, what definition was he looking for? One based off of genitals and reproductive organs?
Yeah.
That's a little bit very narrow and not exactly great to boil people down to their parts.
Mm-hmm.
What is a woman?
Oh, from the controversial mind of Matt Walsh.
I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4. I host a talk show. I give speeches. I write books.
And he has a gnarly beard, don't you think?
I like to make sense of things. A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
Oh my God, the lunacy.
Could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
No.
I like scented candles. I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried on my mother's high-heeled shoes when I was 6, so I guess I'm going in to get
I know
chopped.
if I'm a woman.
Oh dear God, what is he doing? Why is he making this?
Why do you have a problem with it? Really, would be the other question. What's the difference?
So you just show a compilation of people saying it can't be boiled down to one thing. Some women do have penises, like trans women. Some men do have vaginas,
No, that is not true.
like some trans men. And
That is fantasy. That is not true. See, because of a woman, a man wants to become a woman and go the full Monty. They have their parts adjusted to change them into something that looks like a vagina. You see. So if that isn't a marker of being a female, why would someone, when they're transitioning and doing the whole 9 yards, why would they have to or feel like they must get something down there that looks like something women have? Just asking the question.
your response is, I like scented candles.
Okay.
Is that what makes a woman? No.
That's a great question.
Well, I mean, you claim that having a vagina doesn't make a woman either. So who the hell knows what you think?
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No.
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Yeah, well.
The journey to discover the truth.
So again, young man, I'm sorry if I misgendered you, young person. If having a dick is not a kind of a marker of being a dude, why would some people, when they're transitioning to become a man, would have the skin on their forearms removed and shaped into a penis? If it's not a marker of being male. Just kind of curious.
Truth about what?
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only know what women are.
Can a man become a woman? That's a silly question because trans women are not men who become women. They are women who happen to be trans. Just like trans men are not women who become men. Women.
Again, you see how far the psychosis has gotten. This insanity. And this person's probably quite serious.
Men who happen to be trans. At least ask the right questions.
Okay.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if this is lovely editing or if this is actually how it went down.
That's how it went down.
But ask somebody to define an animal. Yeah, that really makes sense.
Well, it seems like a fair question, doesn't it? What is a cat? How do you define a cat? Okay, well, a cat has 4 paws and a tail, and it's furry, it's feline, likes to chase mice around, shits in a litter box. Okay. How hard is that? How hard is that?
Asking someone to define an animal that has nothing to do with the human concept and language of gender and sex.
Because your concept and your language isn't real. It's not reality. See, if you need to define something in the world that's real, like a cat or a bird or a chicken, so that's real. You can see that. See, there's a chicken right over there. So yes, it has everything to do with what he is trying to say in his movie.
Is really not the clever move he thinks it is. I could bring up the example when a well-known transphobe tried to define a chair, and then multiple people pointed out to him that that definition could also work for horses.
Except a horse is alive. A little bit of difference. Little bit of difference.
So well done. A horse is now a chair, apparently.
That's got to be one of the stupidest analogies I've ever heard. It could be a horse. No, it can't. No, they both have 4 legs. That's the only thing they have in common. Not all chairs have 4 legs, by the way.
From the director of No Safe Spaces. Oh, so this is not his first time. Okay.
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male.
Yeah. And again, if having the requisite parts is not a marker of male and female, why would somebody get surgery to change?
I will never be a man.
Oh, no, no, do not agree with that.
So you're minimizing this person's feelings. I thought that was verboten among you folks. Fifis are everything. Well, he says he will never be a man. That's his feeling. And you're saying, no. Again, we got ourselves wrapped around the freaking axle again. Do you believe in fifis or not? And if this man feels he'll never be a real man, well, that's his fifis then, isn't it? It's his own lived experience, so to speak, right? Isn't that the biggest fucking thing these people all talk about? Well, you don't know about being black because you don't have my lived experiences. His lived experience is he's never going to be a man. Nope. Can't have that. No.
99.99999% of trans men will very strongly disagree with that statement.
I am shocked that you are so phobic about this person. You don't care about his feelings.
Don't know if that person actually identifies as a trans man by the sounds of it.
Did you read the text that was involved before that? Before they had this interview, right before they put him on the screen. Did you see what it said? It was a woman that transitioned into a man. So you should probably read the text. Sir.
They were assigned female at birth and transitioned in the sense of taking testosterone and living within society as a man.
Yeah. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. Sorry that you missed it. You could rewind and look at it again.
But yes, sure. For the purposes of your seemingly transphobic documentary, go and find one of the very, very few trans people who holds these kind of gender critical transphobic-y views on.
Okay. Let's go back. Try and read the text.
Transition to appear like a male.
Or was there no text?
From the director of
Maybe I'm
No
wrong.
Safe
Sorry.
Spaces.
I thought there
Oh,
was
so this is not his first time. Okay.
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male. I
Okay, my apologies. There was no text.
will never be a man.
Oh.
Now we're gonna fast forward because you're stupid. He just said he transitioned to be a male. Okay. All right.
Testosterone and living within society as a man.
Again, the question was answered by the person himself. My apologies. There was no
But
text.
yes, sure. For the purposes of your seemingly transphobic documentary, go and find one of the very, very few trans people who holds these kind of gender critical transphobic views on trans people.
Okay. You're talking about a female, born female, cis female, whatever you call it nowadays, that went ahead and transitioned to male. And you are immediately out of hand discounting what this person has to say. Now, it's because you don't like what they're saying, isn't it?
And include them. Ignore the many thousands and the vast, vast majority of trans people who
Well, you got that right. Thousands is about right.
will very strongly disagree with this very, very small number of trans people who will say things like this.
Okay. And what did this person say that was so horribly fucking wrong? He said, I was a woman, I transitioned to male, but I'll never be a man. That's it. And it's true.
I did also do a quick Google search of Scott Nugent and a direct quote from them, because I'm not sure what Scott's pronouns are. I couldn't find them online, and I do not want to misgender anyone.
Excuse me. He said he transitioned to a male. So I assume his pronouns are he and him. Dumbass.
But a direct quote from Scott is, I just happened to get deathly ill from my transition, and it forced me to see what was happening.
Okay.
Reading a little bit more, it sounds like they had some very intense complications from surgery, and this has potentially led to some negative feelings over transitioning. I feel I'm not saying any of this for definite, this is just the kind of vibe I'm getting. They also seem to be really, really against kids having access to trans healthcare.
Gee, imagine that. Why on earth would any normal person be in favor of transitioning children? I'm just curious.
Are hyper-focused on the small number of people who regret transitioning and seem to support J.K. Rowling's views. So they definitely do not speak for the trans community.
I don't think that person did say they spoke for the trans community, you idiot. They said it was their opinion. That's their fifis. You see how this shit gets all twisted up? Oh my God.
But also appears to run an organization that seems to promote being against kids transitioning. But
I'm going to send them money. Kids shouldn't be transitioning.
Basically, despite the fact that 90% of transitioning in childhood is social, and the other 10% is a little sprinkling of puberty blockers for a very small number of those trans kids. Puberty blockers being something that is completely reversible.
So, again, that's a lie. Did you catch what it said? 90% is just pretending. 90% of so-called trans children are just pretending.
And so they go on the internet and they're told that all.
That's what you said. Don't look at me wrong. Don't look at me that way. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You just said it yourself. 90% of children who claim to be trans are pretending. You just said it. Does it mean anything to you, or are you just spewing bullshit? They're not trans. They're dressing up in the opposite gender's clothes. Just like the goth thing from not that long ago.
All of their problems will be solved if they become a man.
No, they're not.
I'll have to agree.
I think it's very clear that transitioning is not just a whimsical and easy thing to do.
Unless you're one of the 90% of children who are pretending. And you expect us to believe that they're actually what they're not.
So you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
A teeny tiny bit, maybe.
Just a little little bit.
Here comes the damage caused by rapid onset gender dysphoria, a theory that actually has no solid evidence, and a piece of research that's also just been rejected by the trans community, scientific community, and the medical community.
It got me at 42.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Is this the same scientific community that believes this? We're supposed to believe them. Okay.
Your child doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance.
Yes. Yes.
This might have been out of context. I don't know. But that really, really does not come across well at all. It got me at what got you at 42? What?
The transitioning happened at 42. How hard is this? Why are you playing so stupid and dumb here? You know exactly what the guy's talking about.
I'm not going to say for sure or make any solid assumptions. I'm just going to say how it comes across to me personally is that this person, Scott, maybe has some regrets.
Do you think? Do ya?
Over their own transition. And
Yes, yes. And he's trying to help other people not make the same mistake. In his eyes, he thinks it was a mistake. Okay.
Is now seemingly projecting that onto other people.
Or trying to give them the correct information about how all of this works. That it is difficult. It's not a simple thing. You can't just go snap your fingers and you're the other. Just like you said, 90% of children who think they're trans are pretending.
Kind of reminds me of the case of Kira Bell in the UK, someone who made a mistake, shouldn't have transitioned, and now has actively tried to reduce access to healthcare.
Kira Bell, 23-year-old who last week won a landmark judicial review against the NHS prescribing puberty blockers to trans youth, wants doctors to help gender dysphoric young people reconcile with their sex. Yeah, just like the NHS came out and said, that's exactly what happens if you leave them alone. Correct.
Particularly for trans kids. Transitioning saves lives. Fact. Transitioning improves well-being. Fact. Detransitioning is highly unlikely. Fact. Just because it was the wrong thing for you, just because it's the wrong thing for a very, very small number of people, does not mean it's the wrong thing for everybody else. And
I totally agree with you. If you're 18 or older, yes. Yes.
The thousands of people where transitioning greatly improves their lives. If we had such a
you're full of shit. No, it doesn't.
Strong pushback against every.
Talk about the suicide rate of people who have done these things. It's terrible. Because what the lady previously said, Dr. So said, there's some belief, some people believe that doing this will make everything better in their lives, and it doesn't. So you have a lot of people that, take the final step, and it's not good. It's not good.
Every medical treatment and procedure that has a regret rate at all, then nobody would ever get anything done, or nobody would.
Yeah, I think I've had enough. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, Shark, I can't read it at the same time. Well, I could, but I'm looking at the video on the one screen. But no, I get your point. Yeah, there's the self-deletions are apparently higher among people who transition. It's a sad situation. And though this guy can take all the words and twist them all he wants to. It's all he wants to. He can just twist them. But he said certain things in here that are 100% correct. 90% of kids transitioning are not. They're pretending. 90%. And he also doesn't believe in fifis, apparently, from people, their lived experience, if it doesn't align with his point of view. See, that's how this all works. 2:40 in the afternoon. I think it's time to go get some brewskis. Thanks for coming by. Like it if you want to. Leave a comment. We'll probably do something later. Maybe we'll get Pulse Kebab, get them all liquored up, and get them on, or we'll do something. All right. See you guys later. Thanks.